You just tuned in to the Love and Marriage Show with Harold and Dalonika live. Hey, this is Harold and Dalonika. See, there's a lot of things that I do that I have to continue to do, to make this show what it is. But hey, good afternoon to everyone. This is Harold and Dalonika with the Love and Marriage podcast. And so on today, this is a tribute to Pastor Ella, known as Raven Moore. Um, this is a shout out to you um, on your journey of life, and we have a great interview on today. I have someone that is very special to us and to me, and that is no other than this beautiful woman, Dalonika McDonald. Can we give a applause to that? Good evening. Good evening. Good
Hey,
evening.
baby.
Good evening.
I'm excited about being on today, especially just to honor Raven.
Yes.
Today is her celebration, her homegoing celebration, and you know that's how our journey started is with Raven. So I would like to get into telling about how I met my husband,
Mhm.
how I got ready, how I got prepared for him.
Wow. You got prepared for me. That's good. That's good. This is part two. This is part one. We did a part one earlier.
Yes.
The sound didn't come out right, but
Yes.
we not tripping about that. We want to give you news that you can use in your marriage
Yes.
that will help you to grow you and to get you where you need to go on
Mhm.
today.
Mhm.
So, Miss D, can I call you Miss D?
Yes,
So,
sir.
Miss D,
Yes.
um, this podcast is about how you met Mr. Ray because that
Mhm.
was my name.
Amen. That
Well, when you
time.
met me was Mr. Ray. And the reason why my name was Mr. Ray because we own a daycare. It was a family daycare, and I worked for the family daycare. And the kids used to call me Mr. Ray. That is my middle name, Harold Ray McDonald. And so um, I just coined it when I opened up my barbershop.
Mm.
And so that's where you get Mr. Ray from.
Mm.
So let's just dive into it.
Okay.
To these questions, or maybe a couple questions. And the first question is how did you meet Mr. Ray?
Yes, so I have to take you back a little bit of how my journey to meet Mr. Ray
Hmm.
began. And that journey was that, first of all, I was sick and tired of being in a state I was in a state of singleness. I was ready to be a wife. I was ready. At least I felt I was.
Hmm.
But there was some things that I needed to change. There were some things that I needed to develop. And honestly, the wife that I would like to have been, I did not see in front of me. Yeah, so I had to begin to pray and ask God, like, Lord, I don't want to be single. I'm tired of taking out the trash. I'm tired of making all these decisions. I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of being I come
Wow,
home. I don't.
that's good.
Hmm.
You was tired of being
I was
strong
tired of even being
because we have
strong.
a lot of strong ladies out there and independent women. Go
Yeah, and
ahead.
I wanted a man to make decisions and
Hmm.
to, lift the load off of me. And so, I began to pray about it like, God, what is going on that I'm not at that place that I want to be as a wife?
Hmm.
And so I remember my father calling, and my father was like, crying. He was emotional. He was weeping. And he said, the woman I love the most, I could never be with. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I know it was because of a lot of decisions that my father had made. And so I saw myself in my
Mhm.
father. And I was like, this could very well be me
Mhm.
18 years from now. I could be calling my oldest and like the man I love the most, I could never be with. And so I was like, Dalonika, you got to get yourself together. Like, what I have time to change and do about face. And what do I need to do to make this change? And then, so I'm seeking God and I'm
Mhm.
praying.
Mhm.
And then, and then
Mhm.
I, so, and then I, I hear my brother. So my brother and his significant other at the time, later his wife, but I had told her to get on him about something. I was like, you don't let him talk to you like that. Shout out to Marita. But I was like, Marita, you don't let him talk to you like that. You know, you
Mhm.
let him know. And that was one of my things is I would let him know. I would be quick to let a man know what I like, what I didn't like, what I expect, what I didn't expect. And so that was lesson number one. And I had to pick up on these lessons God was trying to give me to prepare me to be a wife.
Mhm.
And so it was, my going back to my brother, Buddy, he said to his significant other at the time, Marita, like if you keep listening to D, you're gonna be by yourself like D every holiday.
Wow.
And I
He
thought,
said, listen to D.
yeah,
So
if you
you was
keep
an example.
yes, I was trying
To,
to tell her. And I'm single, but
yeah.
I don't have no man, but I'm trying to tell her how she need to navigate with her man. I mean, listen to that. I'm single and I'm trying to tell this woman who got a man how to navigate her man. And my brother stood up and said, you keep on listening to her and you're going to be just like her at
Mhm.
home on every holiday by
Mhm.
yourself. And so it was funny when they all laughed. I didn't think it was funny. I didn't laugh.
Mhm.
I didn't see nothing funny about it. And it just sat on me. Like, you know what? I am always, what is Marita and what are some of these other women doing that they're keeping a man? And I could get a man. I just can't keep him.
Mhm.
And so what is it with my mouth, with me trying to tell?
Is it that you couldn't keep them, or you was pushing them away? I
I
mean,
probably was pushing him away, to be quite
mhm.
honest, because, I did not know how to treat a man.
And how old was you at this time?
So, I mean,
You was young.
yes, I was in my early 20s,
Mhm.
very, very early 20s. And, I begin a journey like I'm praying, and now God is taking me down this road and this journey. And so now I'm at work, and Mr. Newell, he talks to me, and he's like, D, like, do God ever convict you about how you talk to these guys? You just
Mhm.
cut men down. You just cut guys down. And I was thinking, like, convict me.
Mhm.
And I remember you said something like that. Like, you have to be at a place where you can receive from the
Mhm.
people around you because people can see you better than
You
you
can
can
see
see
yourself,
yourself.
and basically, you really didn't have nobody who was feeding you.
Yes.
They was deceiving you,
Wow.
and yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I now it's starting to come forth, like my brother, what his comments that he made, and then my coworker, Mr. Newell, he said, you got to pay attention to how you talk to men. You really are harsh when you talk to men and when you interact with men. And so I knew he was right about it. Like I knew that I could be hard, but then I didn't get it because
Mhm.
my thought was I'm a Christian girl. I don't cuss. I don't you're not going to catch me using derogatory language, and I'm not out here, doing a lot of things that you would think is something that a man look at, which I'm sure a man does, but a man wants to be treated. He wants to feel good in your presence.
Mhm.
And I don't think I had mastered that, how to make a
Mhm.
man feel good in my presence. And I'm not just talking about with my body, right? Like I was beyond that. I didn't want something that just was surface. I
Mhm.
was ready for a marriage and I needed to get myself ready. And so I began to develop in character. First, I forgave. That
Mhm.
was number one. I forgave. Well, number one really was prayer. It started with prayer,
Mhm.
like just spending time with God, asking God questions like, God, show me myself. And I believe because I began to pray, seek the Lord about being a wife, then I go to encounters with different men in my life.
Mhm.
Like my brother Buddy, who said, hey, you keep talking like that, you're gonna be like D. So it
Mhm.
made me take a look at myself. Well, what am
Mhm.
I doing? And then my coworker, Mr. Newell, he said you harsh when you talk to guys. So I said, okay, well, I need to work on how I communicate.
So that's good. I heard you say, well, I guess we'll get to that about forgiveness because
Mm-hmm.
I wanna, yeah, deal with that
Yeah, let's
forgiveness
talk about it. Like unwrap it.
because you said first you had to get in the presence of God, you know,
Mm-hmm.
really develop your relationship with God, basically.
Yes,
Then
yes.
number two, you had to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so forgiveness. What was that? Was that forgiving the men in your life,
Mm-hmm.
forgiving your uh, baby daddy, or who? What? Why did you have to
Yeah.
forgive?
Oh, that's a good question. So it was forgiving everybody who hurt me.
Mm.
Everybody. Nobody was obsolete. I had to let go. Babe, you could tell women who are bitter. You
Hmm.
could see them a mile away. Bitter women. I used to be one of the women that laughed. Like, she ain't got nobody loving on her.
Hmm.
Like you could see, because when it's the facial expression is different when they bitter, and then they look at you crazy when you try to talk to them. They're not inviting. They don't have a smile. They
Hmm.
just look bitter.
Hmm.
They cuss. They quick to go off and go from 0 to 100, like I used to do. That was me. I was a bitter woman. That's how I can identify bitter women. But I had to forget the past. I had to forget what my upbringing,
Hmm.
things that happened in my upbringing that hurt me, and
Hmm.
I just had to let it go, move forward, stop looking back so I can drive forward. And
Because what we seeing in this generation is that people are taking their hurt and they're taking their hurt and they are having relationships with the same sex and
mhm,
stuff. So I'm just want
mhm,
to and they correlate it to the things that happened
happened
in
in
the
their
past,
childhood,
yeah, in their
yeah.
childhood.
And that is true, but I had to let go of everything. Again, I'm trying to focus on my relationship with God, building my character, listening to those around me, staying focused on leveling up. So now it's even the way my presentation is. So now I'm working on my communication with men. I'm trying to respect the men around me, honor my uncles, honor my brother,
Mhm.
honor the men I work with, and just be respectful. Just have
Mhm.
communication that is delightful, and not just so anyway, I start trying to, make sure my presentation look good, because I remember saying, don't talk to me like that, don't
Mhm.
come to me like that. Well, I needed to make sure I didn't present myself like that. If I'm saying don't come to me like that, come to me, how do I want men to approach me? So that means that I needed to make sure I look like what I wanted to present. And so I went and I met my new hairdresser. I
Mhm.
found out from a friend I liked her hairstyle, and I'm like, who did that? And so I wanted me this whole new look. I got a whole new career,
Mhm.
and I want a new look with my career. And so I meet Raven, and I go to Raven's home, and she starts doing my hair. And not too much longer, she asked me about, do I think she should go to a barbershop to work? And I
Mhm.
was like, she said, "Well, I just want your thoughts." And I was like, "Okay, well, I think it'll be good," after she explained that
What did she explain?
she said the owner of this shop, he's Christian. He plays, his atmosphere is nice. He plays gospel music, and he listens to preaching like Bishop T.D. Jakes. And
Mhm.
and I was like, really? Like, I don't know no shop like that.
And what year was this?
This was in
Uh,
1997. Yeah, so I had just started working at the prison.
mhm. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I tell her that hey, I will come. I will follow you if you go there. And I think
Mhm.
it'll be a great move for you. And so she did. She went there and started working for you. And that's how I met you. But
Mhm.
now, like, I've already started this journey of trying to develop myself into a lady, into a wife, a woman of character, just building myself where I can feel good
Mhm.
about myself.
Because when we met each other, It wasn't no love at first sight.
No, it
It wasn't that.
wasn't. No.
It was like I just was, you know, God getting over you because um, it just wasn't that
No.
at that time.
No,
Um,
it wasn't, and that was one of the things that I found attractive about you, and I actually coined you as my mentor.
oh,
Like,
wow.
you didn't know it, but I had made you my mentor because you was way ahead of me. Like,
Mhm.
I was trying to just make it off probation, and you had already owned you're already owning your first business. And then you had already had a house that you owned. I was just trying to get a townhome or a condo, and I would be good. Like, you were quantum leaps ahead of me. So I had just said, like, every time I would come into your shop to get my hair done by Raven, I would be like, you know what? Like, I need some advice, I need some encouragement.
Mhm.
And that's what you would give me. You would always navigate me, share nuggets with me to build my faith up, always encourage me as a baby Christian in the Lord, just strengthen my walk. And I really enjoyed talking to
Mhm.
you. And one reason is because I didn't have to ward you off. Like, I didn't have to, you know, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I didn't have to do any of that with you.
Mhm.
You really showed yourself as a supreme man, as an alpha man, but very respectful to all around you. And so when I would come in and just do my work
Mhm.
and so forth, but I never came out of character. So this
Mhm.
building this new character of a lady that I'm heading towards. And so one of the things was serving
Mhm.
others.
That's good because I was hearing what you were saying. You was developing yourself. You
Yes.
wasn't just developing yourself for a man. You were
No.
just developing your character,
Yes, sir.
and being presentable
Mhm.
to everybody around you,
Yes.
just not
Not
to a
one
man or
person.
not
Mm.
to just one. And this is what God told you
Yeah.
what you needed to do.
Mhm.
And I remember one time you told me, you said God told you that you wasn't ready yet.
Oh my goodness, yeah, because I was throwing a tantrum, and I was like, God, I shout out, hats off to all my friends who are getting married, and I love it. I'm in their wedding, I'm celebrating them. But what about me? Like, I think you
Hmm.
forgot about me. And the Lord's like, no, I didn't forget about you. You still, the man that I have for you is a special man, and you have to really work on yourself
Hmm.
before I give you to him. And I'm like, but I thought I was good. Like, I'm taking classes on how to dialogue, how to communicate. I'm reading 100 books. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like, I've at least read about 50 books.
Right.
And I just thought I was just ready. I didn't understand at that time, but there was a mindset that I needed to develop as far
Hmm.
as how I saw myself. Because we always say we want to be treated like a queen, but do we act like a queen? And that's where the
Mm.
Lord wanted me at, is to present myself like a queen.
That's good.
Don't just look cute, but have the character, have the
Hmm.
pose, make sure that when he sees me, that he's somebody that he can be like, wow, I can't live without her.
It's amazing because a lot of generational women now are getting away from being a woman or acting like a woman. And that was most attracting to me when I met you at the barbershop. You was a lady. You didn't you wasn't flirtatious. You were
No.
just sitting there in that chair, kept your head down. You was working, you was grinding while you was getting your hair done. And that was really uh, amazing to me because you really uh, brought tribute to the women on how they should act, and that was so amazing to
That is amazing. Like, sometimes you don't even realize how people are watching you. But I remember, like, it was really important to me to, like, walk softly,
me. Hmm.
how I dressed. I didn't want to be revealing in my body. Like, I wanted to dress
Yeah, and
appropriate.
that's the thing nowadays. Women are more revealing than anything, and most men they're attracted to the sexual part, not the intellect or
Or the
the
heart
of the
of that
heart of
woman.
that woman. You know,
Yeah.
and I wasn't. It wasn't like that with me and you.
Mhm.
You know, it
Yes.
was very, very just straight. hey, Miss D, how
Mm-hmm.
are you? Very respectful,
Absolutely. Yes.
And I think that my hope is that we can get back to that,
Mm-hmm.
to where women become women
Yeah. And
and men become men.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, and we're going to talk more about this
Hmm.
in part 2 and part 3. But I really that was important to me. Is just how I carry myself, and I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I needed to be with the masses, with everybody else. I
Mm.
wanted to have. I had a picture of how I felt a lady. I wanted to be presented, and I wanted to
Hmm.
present myself that way. And so I just focused on myself, just focused on building myself. I was, I try to treat people right who around me. Raven,
Hmm.
I would always go and get her something to eat, like, cause I knew she worked long hours, and I realized after watching you guys that you guys really don't take out time for yourself through the day, and we as customers were very demanding about
Hmm.
when we come in for our appointment. No, we don't want you to eat. We want you to come on, get this hair done. And so I wanted to make sure she ate, but when she came to work for you, I also began to do that for you
Hmm.
and your people, your other staff. And so I remember one time you were surprised that I had did that, but that was something that was becoming my norm.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that we tell our sons now is look at how she treat others. Look at how
Hmm.
she interact with her father. Look at how she talks to her brother and other men around her.
Hmm.
And so,
That's
yeah,
amazing because that is what the Proverbs 31, 31, the Proverbs 31, the woman,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
yes, Private 31
Yeah,
woman,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. And it talks about look at her how she acts,
Yes,
you know,
yes, how she treat
how
her
she treat her
handmaids
family,
and
and
her
yeah,
family.
and how she treat her husband, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
So yeah, I think that's it. We are over the time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we are
So
over the time.
so I'm gonna just review it really quick
Okay.
then. So number 1 was prayer for me. Number 2 was forgiveness. Let go of the past. Let go of everything
Hmm.
and everybody who hurt me. Just get bitterness off of me. Take that, change my face. Number 3 was build my character
Hmm.
and have allow people to speak into my life who can see me and see and can point out some things that's not attractive to a man. Um, and so, and then the fourth and last thing was how I served others, but I also just built myself, built my career that I would have never met you if I wouldn't have been about my career and about my
Hmm.
business. And then I got myself involved in the community, all of what was attractive to you.
Hmm.
And I didn't know it at the time. It would take time to talk about it later, but I cannot wait for part 2 for us to do part 2 so I
Hmm.
can share about what happened,
Yeah.
like, after we met.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Love and Marriage Show. Uh, This was a tribute to our friend, Pastor Ella Raven Moore.
Mm,
Shout out to the family.
yes.
Much love. And this is the intro or the building of how we met and
Yes.
how you got married to me.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
um, thank you to everyone. Please share this video with anyone who you think would like to see this video. And also like it. Like this video. We want you to hit that little button at the bottom. So thank you for tuning in. It's been a great afternoon, and we love you. And there's nothing you can do about it.